The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Ayo Josh, let me get a little bit of reverb. Yeah. J Will. Yeah, I'm about that lifestyle. I talk green work, repping it all over. It's right on the t-shirt. Fan for a lifetime. Yeah, that's a long pass. Figure I would show some love right on the podcast. Turn this up loud and make sure you don't do nothing else. Cause if you're listening to us, then you're improving your health. My name is J Will. Welcome to the show, yeah. Wrestle, flow, 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 yeah.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Wrestling Reverb. Oh man, it's gonna be one of these shows, guys. Kev, we don't have a plan. Well, we have one topic planned, but that's not gonna last an hour.
We are without structure. We are without plan. Yeah, like you said, we do have something on the docket, but it's not going to last us the whole way. So bear with us, folks, because this show might go off the rails.
Oh, it probably will. Last week was a 100% planned show. Thank you for last week, everybody. For anybody that doesn't go on Twitter much or go on social media or listen to the Josh Robinson show, I did raise way more money than I ever could have imagined that we could have raised together. Solely just based on everybody that took the time to listen and donate and help out and share all the stuff. $865 was our total that I donated last Tuesday to the two organizations. Thank you very much for all of that. Reverb Rewind was a lot of fun to have back. Mania is always, the road to Mania and stuff is always very busy, just in terms of wrestling content. So Reverb Rewind will be back, no doubt, before Mania. We did a big Mania last week. We haven't even talked about Mania yet, but that is coming up. We did a whole week last year from memory, I think.
We did I'm pretty sure we did at least 3 or 4 shows the week of WrestleMania. We did a Reverb Rewind. We did predictions. We did our favorite moments.
We might have to have a little chat about that at some point soon, because it'll be here before we know it.
I know. I mean, look at where we are. We're like a week or 2 away from the Rumble already.
Oh yes, I'm so excited for the Royal Rumble. We'll talk about the Rumble, I'm sure, at some point in this episode. But first things first, I want to talk to you about something very important, very close to me, and that is, okay, so I have this, I go through these phases with, I think, everything, TV shows, whatever, but in this instance, I'm going through this phase where all I want to eat is cereal, all day, every day, and it's getting to the point now where, if other people tell me about any other cereal than the one I eat, I get, actually quite angry. So the best cereal, I don't know if you guys have it over in the States, you probably would. I love Rice Bubbles, okay? Rice Bubbles are my shit.
What the fuck are those?
Rice Bubbles are so, do you guys have fuck me, it's so hard to tell you because I can't just show you. It's do you have you probably wouldn't have Cocoa Pops over there either, would you?
No, we do.
Oh, you have Cocoa Pops. So it's like Cocoa Pops, but not chocolate. They're just they're white.
Oh.
And they crackle and shit. And they're just delicious. And you put sugar and stuff on them.
Oh, okay. So I just Googled Rice Bubbles. And they're basically Rice Krispies. They are Rice Krispies, it looks like.
Okay, so yeah, that'd be, yeah. So they're just little, so anyone that doesn't know, if you don't know what Rice Krispies or Rice Bubbles are, they're basically little tiny, rice balls. Is that how you describe it? I guess. Yeah,
they're little pieces of I guess I don't want to call them rice because that I think that conjures the wrong idea.
Yeah,
but they're good. It's a good cereal.
Yeah, and yet they crackle and they pop and stuff, and they're just really lit. And so basically, how I mean when I say I'm getting angry if anybody says anything otherwise than rice bubbles is like, literally I could be at work and like we have like food in like the cupboards in the staff room and in the lunch break room and stuff like that, and there's cereal in there, and if there's not rice bubbles and someone's like, well, rice bubbles aren't even that great, like I will go red in the face. Like it's actually getting to me where it's taking over my body, which isn't good. But in a week's time, I won't give a shit about rice bubbles. I won't give a shit about cereal, and I won't eat it again for 12 months. I just don't know why, but like it could be morning, lunchtime, dinner time, it could be midnight, and I'm like, I know what I want. I want a bowl of rice bubbles. Is that normal to eat cereal all day? Because I don't think it is.
It's not normal. I haven't had a bowl of cereal in a long time. I'm not like a big breakfast person.
Well, I didn't think I was either. And then I seen these rice bubbles, and I was like, life changed.
When I was in high school, elementary school, middle school, high school, that's when I was big on breakfast, and I had a lot of cereal. And the holy triumvirate of cereals for me were as follows: Honey Nut Cheerios, of course, Apple Jacks.
Don't know what they are.
Oh.
We don't have them here. Well, at least I've never had them. Rough.
It's like apple and cinnamon pieces. They're so good.
Okay.
And to tie it up, the goat of cereals, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
See, we don't have that here. We've had this. I feel like I've had that discussion with somebody. Maybe it was you. Not sure. But we don't have that here. But I've heard of it. I've heard of it a lot. Because apparently it's just so not good for you.
It's so good. Like, it's literally good. Just putting cinnamon on a spoon and ingesting it.
Oh. I mean, that doesn't sound like the most pleasant time the way you just described that to me.
No, I know. But that was a joke. But it's good. I swear to God, it's good.
One day I'll try it. But none of that is rice bubbles. So, I mean, you know. On to other stories. So the one topic that I really wanted to bring up this week, onto wrestling, guys, by the way, this is a wrestling show. Maybe. I don't know sometimes, but
this is a cereal podcast.
I wouldn't, well, only for a week though, because I'll be over it in a week. So it's a 1 week only podcast.
Next week it'll be a soup podcast if I have my way.
Oh no. See, soup is not a food.
Wait, what?
Soup isn't food.
What do you mean?
Soup is not food. It's not. No. Soup is no. It's not. People that can eat soup as a meal, get out of here. It's liquid.
Whoa.
It's a drink.
Josh.
Soup is not a food.
Oh my God.
It has food elements, but the majority of this dish is water. It's just broth.
You eat it. It's food.
No, Kevin, let's not go here right now. Soup is not. Soup isn't even that good, okay? I'm just putting that. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think soup is that good.
That's a stupid opinion.
I don't think soup is really that good. Not even like chicken noodle soup is that good.
Good Lord.
It's just runny food. Like, what is going on? No. Just be normal food. Just, you know, if you want to have noodles or something. I don't know. Just eat something better than soup, guys. All right, everybody?
This took a turn. Oh my God.
I don't know.
I didn't think I'd be getting like attacked. You know, we're only like 5 minutes into the show. Stop attacking me.
No, I just can't. I just can't deal with people who just eat soup all the time. It's just.
I had soup for lunch.
How did you have this soup and then eat the soup for lunch and be like, I'm full? No, I just had my fucking drink before I had my food. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, I'm still fucking hungry.
Well, the thing is, you pair soup with something. You know,
see, and that's why it's not a meal. It's not a meal because you have to have something. It could be a
meal, depending on the soup.
What are you putting in your soup?
You put chicken in soup. You put beef in soup. You put, your various meats in soup. It could be very well be a meal depending on how much you eat. I eat a lot of soup.
But when just putting all this stuff, make it from a soup to a stew, because then it's a completely different thing.
No, stew is something completely different. We don't. No, soup. Like, it literally is called chicken noodle soup. You have chicken and carrots and noodles in there. That's a meal.
It's not a meal. It's like it's just like you may as well drink it out of a trough. Like, that's what. No, just no. I don't do soup. Okay. it's bland. It's not a meal. It doesn't fill you up. Give me something else. Anything else. I'd rather eat a piece of broccoli. That's more
Eat broccoli with cheddar soup.
I don't want soggy broccoli. I just want to eat broccoli.
But it's so good, though. I literally, for those of you who are listening, I literally wrote a blog today about my lunch, my broccoli and cheddar soup.
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, wow, I didn't even put two and two together, but yeah, I did see that. By the way, Mr. Kevin over here this last 7 days has been super active, man, on Twitter and his blogs and all of that kind of stuff. He everywhere this week. I've noticed you've been
I'm trying to be everywhere all the time.
A lot.
You know, trying to be more active on Twitter, trying to be more active with the blog because I put this in a tweet. I spent the last couple of months trying to launch the Daily Chinlock, my new blog website. But that's not really for me as much as it is for other people to have a platform for their own work. I still love and will die for my blog, The Last Blogger Standing, and I have been neglecting it for months. Call a spade a spade. I hadn't published anything on it in quite some time, and I really wanted to. I wanted to revive it, and I wanted to make it a hotspot again because back in the day I was pulling some serious numbers on that site, and I want to get back to that. Not the numbers are everything because I love writing for the sake of writing, and I don't care if I'm writing to one person or 100 people. But when you see when you see blogs going off, doing big numbers, it's a big stroke to the ego.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. In anything, you're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I feel it especially not so much for this anymore because we've kind of we have our following now. I'm not saying I'm doing like amazing numbers, but I mean like we have our core group of people, and it's like, oh, it's just, I don't want to say expected because you never should expect it, but it's just like, it's comfortable. But when I do like any Josh Plays stuff on YouTube and I see views go up, I'm like, people are actually taking the time to click on this and look at it. So I'm like, that's a stroke to the ego. By the way, guys, everyone keeps wanting me to play freaking horror games on Josh Plays, and I'm a scared little bitch. Like, I'm just the scaredest person in the world.
I would have to draw the line. I would not watch you play that game. I don't know what constitutes a horror video game. I'm not sure what video games out there are considered horror.
There's lots of them. Trust me.
But
I played one.
I make an exception on Josh Plays videos because I don't usually watch people play video games. But because you're you and I love you, I tune in.
Maybe I'll eat soup on my YouTube.
Oh man, I'll
ASMR soup video.
Oh, your views will go through the roof because I will just make multiple YouTube accounts and watch it from multiple accounts.
You just loop it. Just get all these views.
Play it on loop.
You know that's probably someone's kink. It's probably someone's kink. Let's be honest. I'm not kink shaming.
I'm sure someone's kink is cereal.
Hey, probably is.
Not exactly sure what you do with it, but
some people are into weird shit. You people don't, speaking of people being into weird stuff, Tessa Blanchard, she's had a bit of a week. The days, what was it? When did all the stuff come out about Tessa? Was it the day before Hard to Kill, or was it 2 days?
I think it was either a day before or 2 days before, but it was like very, very close to Hard to Kill.
So this happened when I was asleep, all this stuff. So I woke up to just madness. Absolute madness. For anybody that doesn't know what kind of went down, you probably will, because there would be no way you could avoid it if you're any fan of wrestling at all, because it was everywhere, because it was multiple people making multiple different accusations, I guess, towards Tessa Blanchard. Before we get into that stuff right there, Tessa Blanchard is, from what I know, and I know nothing because I'm not in the industry, of course. We don't know anything. We don't really know anything. But there's been a lot of rumors about Tessa Blanchard with her attitude, I guess you would say, in years past. It's apparently a big reason why they didn't sign her up after the first Mae Young Classic. A lot of people, she used to date Ricochet. It was very known that she had attitude problems then. It's weird to me because, okay, so we'll talk about the stuff that went down on Twitter in a minute, but if you watch interviews with Tessa, and even just watching her talk on in promos and stuff like that, she seems like a very nice person. She comes across as a very sweet girl. I don't think Tessa Blanchard is. I feel like she's fairly young, but
I think she's like 24 or 25.
yeah, so she's around our age. But she seems like a nice enough person. However, that doesn't really. It's okay. I'm gonna try and speak completely in like allegedly this stuff happened, but there's so many people that come out. It's hard not to believe all the stuff about Tessa. It's hard not to, even though we don't know really anything. But there was accusations that Tessa was a bully and that she held a lot of people down, and she called somebody the N-word, which is, you do not say that. You just don't. That's just a word that is a no-go zone, especially in the context that she used it as well, and the spitting on of people. And there was some claims, and this was a day or two before Hard to Kill. Of course, she was going for the Impact World Championship. History making, really. And then this came out, and there was people from Allison Kay to Chelsea Green. Who were some of the others, Kevin, that come out and said these things?
Those are the two main ones, but very importantly, and her name escapes me right now, the person that was at the center of the controversy with Tessa, the girl who allegedly Tessa spit in her face and called her the N-word, came out and said it was true.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
I can't think of her name.
Big one. Allison Kay and Chelsea Green were like the two big ones, though. They were the first two, definitely.
Yeah, and then there was like Isla Dawn and multiple other different workers coming out. It all stemmed, though, from Tessa putting out a tweet saying, "Hey, women, it'd be nice if you..." I'm paraphrasing, but "Hey, women, it'd be nice to support one another," or something like that. Something along those lines.
It was like, "Hey, women, let's support one another. That'd be cool." Yeah. It came off as kind of... The tweet itself came off as kind of snarky, too.
Oh, 100%. And then Allison was the first one to be like, "Yo, bitch, actually, why don't you..."
Where?
And then Chelsea Green, and then it just went from there. It's not like these women are from the same company. It's not like a exclusive group of women being like, "We hate Tessa, let's bring her down." No, it's people from different companies. It's people from within the industry kind of confirming nor denying. No one's really denying it. Everyone seems to be just coming out and being like, yeah, she's a bully. And Tessa put out a thing on Twitter saying, "Not true, I would never do something so horrible." And that was the last we heard of it with Tessa in the sense of, like, directly addressing it. So fast forward 24 hours or so to Hard to Kill, she won the Impact World Championship. And what should be a pretty significant moment in wrestling in general, and a very huge moment for women in the business, or just women and men, but just everybody in the business. It was just so mixed across Twitter. There was a lot of people being like... There was a lot of people not even for it before all this happened. There was it was mixed all the way through. But I know going up until those accusations came out, those claims came out, that I was like, Tessa's going to win the championship, and this is a pretty big deal. For someone who doesn't really... Listen, a lot of us don't really watch Impact anymore. It's just fallen so far. But I was excited. I was like, hey, I might actually get this pay-per-view, watch Hard to Kill, and watch Tessa win the championship. These accusations came out, and again, we don't know anything, but it was hard to not believe these kind of things with so many people confirming this kind of stuff and just kind of just laying it out. The moment happened, and again, very just mixed across the board. That's how I kind of played it on Twitter anyway. There was people like, "Oh, really? They're going to go here?" And then some people like, "Well, yeah." Some people like, "These are just, it's just all allegedly. Nothing, is confirmed. Nothing, What made it worse was Tessa's promo post-show. You probably seen that video going around, I'm assuming, yeah. Kevin. And basically, she didn't she didn't own up to anything.
No, absolutely not. What she did was she basically played herself out to be the victim.
Which is not what
saying,
you do.
I've gone through so much, and I have such a strong mind.
I was like, ugh.
Oh, nothing about it sat well with me.
It came so cringy. I was like, no, Tessa, no. I do need to add that she did reply to Chelsea Green's tweet. If anyone's seen that, she said basically, like, I've been nothing but nice to you, blah, 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 blah. But other than that, she didn't really reply to anybody, I don't think.
Not directly, besides Chelsea.
Chelsea was the only one. But yeah, she did this promo, and that kind of really was just like, oh man, why'd you go and do that? But other than that, she hasn't really stated too much on the actual subject matter. All in all, it was a moment that should have been a lot happier, but because of, I guess, Tessa's attitude and mainly the racist claims that come out in all of this is what everyone's most angry about. I mean, there's people within the not saying that it's good for people to be in the business to be bullies and stuff like that at all. No, I'm not saying that at all. However, it was the use of that word that really pushed, well, at least me over the edge. I think most of us over being like, I mean, I know I don't like the whole cancel culture thing in general, just in the world. I just don't like that. However, there's some lines that you just don't cross and you just don't do that. All in all, Kev, do you believe this, what is going on? Do you believe that it all happened?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
I've said this before. The easiest way to avoid cancel culture is to not do something that's worth being canceled over. And obviously, like, to an extent, sometimes the culture does get a little egregious with people getting canceled over things that are kind of minor. But this is not that instant at all. Tessa Blanchard should be ashamed of herself if this is true. And the way she's carried herself, whether this is true or not, the way she's carried herself since is not becoming. Yes, not becoming of a champion, not becoming of a decent human being. Quite frankly,
it's bigger than wrestling. It's way bigger than just a wrestling scandal. It's not a wrestling scandal. This is just life in general scandal. You know what I mean? So, man, it is, for a lack of a better term, it's a huge shame because that moment should have been huge.
Oh yeah, this is history in the making. One of the first ever female world champions in a major promotion, and it should be something that we should still be celebrating all these days later. But instead, half of us were left to wonder if it should have happened. Half of us were just sort of like, There really wasn't anybody that was like, yes, Tessa Blanchard did it.
Yeah, I was just so nil on it. I was just so like...
Yeah, at the end of the day, I didn't care. I just didn't care at all.
Yeah, it didn't move any needles for me.
I didn't think... I felt bad for Impact. They didn't have a way out. If they didn't put the belt on Tessa, they were going to hear about it. But if they did, they were going to hear. There was no right answer. And
it was 8 months of story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a long
Literally,
time.
the story, you put all your chips in this basket. And to have one of your talents selfishly send it awry, literally days beforehand, that is just unfathomable to me as a promotion. Like, I can't imagine what the writers' room meetings and what had to happen behind closed doors to even get to Hard to Kill.
I feel bad for Impact because every time they seem to catch a little bit of momentum, something happens. Something always happens.
It really does. They're so snake bitten as a company.
Yeah, I know. They're just doomed. Speaking of Impact, TNA is returning for one night only. Did you see that on Twitter?
I saw you tweet about it.
So
we're getting a little total nonstop action.
I miss saying TNA. Impact will always be TNA to me. It will always be TNA. I used to love TNA.
That's like not great, but that's just the legacy they built.
I used to love TNA. From I watched TNA. So it didn't start airing in Australia until about 2008 or 9. It used to air on Saturday nights at 11 p.m. It was a rough time. But
that's ideal.
But I was at school at that time, so I could stay up late on a Saturday night, you know what I mean? And I used to have the back room of the house at my mum's house when my parents separated. I used to spend the weekdays with my dad and then go to the weekends with mum. And mum gave me, I was a teenager, she was like, I'll give you some privacy. So I went to the back room of the house so I could watch it fairly loud. I could stay up really late, eat lots of junk food. And that's what I used to do on Saturday nights. I used to watch Impact. And from 2008 right up until I left, till I finished high school in like 2013. That's when I was watching Impact a lot. Like, I went through all of those years. Aces and Eights, Hulk Hogan, Dixie Carter, Brooke Hogan being there, Jesus. I went through all of that time. And I just used to be like, this is the other wrestling product. It's different from WWE, but I used to just really enjoy it for what it was. There were some bad times in there, but TNA had some good stuff in there too. TNA they had a lot of good matches in TNA. There was a lot of, the talent was never an issue. They always had a lot of talent. And it would be people that, you know, left WWE would go to TNA, and you'd be like, oh, I miss Kurt Angle and Christian and Victoria Tara, Mickey James. They all went there, and it was like, this is a lot of fun, and the knockouts were kicking ass, and I used to love TNA, so it will always be like, I'll always think of those times fondly, even if there was some not so great times within that time. But I'm a Dixie Carter mark. I used to love Dixie Carter when she was like a heel authority figure. It's been done in wrestling 7,000 times, but guess what? I'm a sucker for it every time. Give me more.
You know, I pretty much started watching TNA when I started watching wrestling. Like, I was aware of it.
I was aware of it, yeah.
Pretty early on into my wrestling fanhood. And
good.
With guys like Styles and Angle, Sting, Samoa Joe, it was hard not to watch. I was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are so good. I watched TNA from maybe 2007 through, you know, when I stopped watching was probably roughly around the same time you did, when Sting and AJ Styles left.
Yeah, I remember stopped watching. So basically, you know, when they went from, well, first question is first, 6-sided ring, yes or no? How do you feel about it?
I thought it was cool. I thought they were able to do cool stuff with it.
I liked it because it made them different instantly.
Yeah.
But when they, when they switched to it,
really knew that it was TNA.
Yeah, it felt very them. When they switched to a 4-sided ring and then back to a 6-sided ring, when they switched back, I left. I know it was around that time because they went from when they went on the road for a little while and they were doing actual TV from different, just out of the Impact Zone, and they had like Dixie in charge, and there was like a solid commentary team. That was when Gale and Taryn Terrell were killing it with a heap of matches. It was like that time period, and then they went back to the Impact Zone, went back to the 6-sided ring, and I just was like, okay, I think I'm gonna tap out. It wasn't for me anymore, and I think that's where a lot of people tapped out, to be completely honest with you.
Well, yeah, that's when the talent started to leave. That's when the money started to dry up.
They had a lot of legal issues and stuff like that.
I just remember being so mad over the way they did Sting and AJ Styles, like their send-offs on TV, where they got beat down by like 6 or 7 people, lost the title. AJ Styles was champion, but there was that story where AJ Styles was champion and actually took the belt to like AAA, and he took it to,
and it had a lot of momentum.
And it was really cool. It was like what we wanted to see with CM Punk when he left the WWE for 2 weeks. This was like what we wanted to see, and we kind of got it with AJ Styles. But then they took they took the belt off him, and they ran Sting out of there, and it left such a bad taste in my mouth. And I feel bad because the guy who I identify most with that time was when Magnus turned heel and worked with Dixie Carter.
Oh yes.
I hated Magnus, and I like for years I unfairly blamed Magnus for me not watching TNA anymore. But Nick Aldis is doing really good work right now, so I can't even knock him. He's doing a great job with the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, he is. The only other time that I pop back in every now and again, obviously Broken Matt Hardy. That was everyone was watching Impact.
I watched the highlights.
And when Bubba or Bully powerbomb Dixie through that table. I remember watching a lead up to that and being like, that was like the end of Dixie Carter's reign of terror, and after years of on top. I remember watching that, and it was just like, wow, this is really cool. It was in the Hammerstein Ballroom, I'm pretty sure.
I believe it was.
Yeah, and it was just a cool moment. But other than that, other than like the broken stuff, and here and there I'll pop in, but I can't say that I've watched too much Impact Wrestling in the last 2-3 years. You know what really bugs me about them now? And this is just so petty and so nitpicking. Their ring is so small. Their ring is tiny.
The last time I watched Impact was they had a barbed wire massacre match between LAX and OVE.
Yeah.
Where they took the ring ropes out. That was the last match I watched.
The last match I watched, I think, was Tessa and Gail Kim. I think I watched that last year or year before, whenever it was.
No, yeah, definitely the barbed wire match. I remember, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they did a show WrestleMania weekend with Lucha Underground, where Alberto Del Rio, or whatever the hell his name was at this point,
Patron.
Alberto El Patron, no-showed the show. They had to, like,
shocking.
Yeah, that kind of guy. That I remember watching that because I think the main event ended up being like Pentagon versus Phoenix versus somebody from TNA.
I do remember that happening. But yeah, TNA was just... I'm excited it's coming back. Just to backtrack here to Tessa. You know what sucks the most? Other than like her with these racist claims and saying what she said and bullying people, is that Tessa is... I don't want to say is anymore because I don't like to talk about her like that anymore because I just feel so gross about the situation, but she's such a damn good worker. And so fucking good and had so much potential. And no matter what happens now, whether she apologizes and, you know, whatever, it's always going to be the girl that said that. Yeah. Hogan's the same. No matter Hogan apologizing and whatever, he'll always be the dude that said that. No matter what. Yeah. He'll always be that dude, and it's just like... Yeah,
and it sticks with you for life, and if you complain about that, then don't fucking say it.
Exactly. No, I'm not defending them by any means, but, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to stick with it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's a stigma. It sticks with you.
She will never, ever sign with WWE.
No,
and I don't even think she'll sign with AEW anymore. They don't want that kind of bad publicity.
No, they don't want. If she's as bad a locker room character as they think, you don't want that in a new company.
It's such a damn shame because she's so talented in the ring, so talented, and it's just like you cannot be a complete piece of trash and say that kind of stuff, and you know it just sucks because there's not really a lot of people that's just genuinely better than her in the ring. And it just makes me feel like I'm so hesitant saying that out loud because it just makes me feel so gross. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. Like you don't want to talk good about her anymore because she's done something that makes it makes you want.
That's the word you don't say. That is the word you don't say.
Number one word that you just don't say, and she hasn't even apologized for it. Well, even if she didn't say it, like she could have came out and just said something to the effect of, "I'm sorry if." Things got misconstrued, or she could have apologized to the person and say, I'm sorry if things got misconstrued, things got taken out of hand or proportion. I'm sorry the story is out there. You could apologize without admitting guilt.
Yeah. And the thing is with all of these people that are coming out and saying this stuff about Tessa is not like people that, start problems. When have you ever heard of Isla Dawn starting a problem or Alison Kay or Chelsea? Like they don't do that. They just don't.
That's the thing that almost hooked me was when I saw Chelsea say something. I was like, anything I've ever heard about Chelsea Green is that she's such a sweetheart.
Yep. So same.
And for her to come out and just nail Tessa to the wall like that, it convinced me. Isla Dawn the same way. Like Isla Dawn, I've never heard a bad thing about.
She just looks like the sweetest little girl. She really does. She just looks like the sweetest girl, and you're just like, man, it's just a lack of a better term, but it's just a very horrible situation, and I just don't like it. But on to better things. On to something that I love very much with all my heart is the NXT Women's Division. I talk about them all the time because they are the best division in the entire world because they're fucking great. Case in point, last night for you guys in the States, there was a big battle royal for the NXT Women's Championship #1 contendership, and I just remember that bell ringing, all of that talent in the ring. I'm like, holy crap, look at the talent in this ring, with the exceptions of Chelsea Green and Dakota, who weren't in the match, but I was just like, wow. The NXT Women's Division has layers, it has twists and turns, it has so much dang talent. I'm just like, holy crap.
It was literally like it was almost like they were showing. It was. They were showing off. They
So
were
good.
gloating.
It's never been better.
The NXT Women's Division is the best division.
Yeah, division.
regardless of
That's what I mean
gender.
when I say division. It's
Yeah.
the best division in the entire world. It is my favorite. Like, I tweeted this in a joke and non-joke kind of way. I put, the NXT Women's Division is my favorite wrestler.
I saw that.
Because it
Dang.
is. I'm so invested into
literally.
everybody.
And the thing is, with that Battle Royal, they could have gone out and just coasted, and it still would have been good because of the talent involved.
Yeah.
But you could tell like 4 or 5 stories coming out of there now.
I know. Like, everyone got it. First things first, hell fucking yeah, Kacy Catanzaro is back, because fuck yes. I was so bummed. That would be the best word to describe it. Bummed when they were like, is she gone? She is wanting to do, wasn't really sure of this lifestyle. When that music hit, she got a nice little reaction. I was like, hell yeah, Kacy's back, because Kacy does stuff that I'm like, well, I've never seen that before. And she just has, I look at Kacy and I'm just like, you are the ultimate babyface. Look at her. She's just everything you want in a babyface. And she's so athletic. So much potential with her. Another person that has a lot of potential, Kaden Carter. She's green.
Oh, yeah.
She's green as all green. But some of the stuff that she does, I'm just like, oh, chef kisses. You are
an
good.
athlete, a pure athlete.
Pure athlete. Then you look at some of the, I like how this, like I said, it has layers. It has like a lower card, a mid card, and an upper card. Like, it actually has, it's a division within a division. It has so many layers. Like, you look at some of the quote unquote lower card. I never pronounced her last name properly, but her first name's Jessie. She was just Jessie for a little while. She was in the Mae Young Classic, but she's in there. And then you got people like MJ Jenkins and the Luchador girl. I can't think of her name either. She was on Raw for a couple of weeks.
I know what you're talking about.
Catalina?
Katarina, maybe Catalina.
Something like that. There's her. And then you've got well, I'm blanking on all these. I had them all in my head of being like, I'm going to talk about all these people individually, and now I can't think of any of their names. However, you get my case in point is that just like there's layers in this division, and then you've got your upper card. The good thing about the upper card of the NXT Women's Division is that there is so much talent in there. Candice LeRae, Mia Yim. Now we've got Mercedes Martinez, which is just
which blows my mind.
I'm so happy that Mercedes.
She was the one woman I thought would never sign because I thought if it hadn't happened already with how talented she was, and with she's been in 2 Mae Young Classics, I thought maybe she just wanted to work the indies, and that would have been just fine with me because she's killing it. But she brought it to the big stage.
Oh, man, and that's just a perfect example, not to sound cheesy, of just dedication and hard work, and you'll get what you'll make your dreams come a reality because. It's just, like you said, she's been in 2 Mae Young Classics. It's not like she's... Not saying that this is a factor. I'm not saying that this is a huge factor, but it probably comes into play at some point in your mind. It's not like she's 25 years old. She is older. And it's just... I loved hearing her reaction and just seeing her shine in that Battle Royal. But you've got Candice, you've got Mia, you've got Mercedes, you've got Dakota, you've got your favorite, Tegan Knox. You just want to, like, shoot to the moon. You've got Rhea, you've got Shayna, which is a question mark, I guess, because who knows what's going on with Shayna. You've got, the horsewomen with Shayna. You've got Io, and you've got Bianca, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. There's so much dang talent, and any one of those women could have won the Battle Royal, and it wouldn't have seemed weird. That's what I love the most about it. There wasn't like... That's... Everyone's...
There wasn't a surefire candidate to win. There wasn't a surefire favorite.
I could have been like... If Candice won, I would have been like, yep, cool. Sign me up. Io, yep, cool. Sign me up. Tegan, Dakota, Mia... They all could have won, and it would have not seemed odd. It would have just seemed right. It would have just been like, yep, they're all built to such a level that they're just on the same level. there's no clear, like, this person and then the rest. Like, it's not like Rhea Ripley is so far up above everybody else. She isn't. She's on the level of all the others, which is, I love that. I just love that. And, hey, I'm not mad. Bianca Belair winning that Battle Royal, I thought it was going to Io. I thought Io was going to win this, and then Bianca won it. And I was like, I'm fine with this. Bianca and Rhea, that'll be fun.
Absolutely. A Haas battle. Just two of the strongest SLBs in the company.
You got the
going at it.
But Rhea does have to get through Toni Storm at Worlds Collide.
You're right.
Toni Storm has Rhea's number. I love this story. It's just simple. It's just Toni Storm always gets the job done against Rhea. I don't know if... Hey, they could pull some kind of shock moment here and have Rhea lose to Toni. I don't think it's going to happen, but nonetheless, it'll probably be a great match. Worlds Collide, by the way, is something that I wasn't necessarily that excited for when it first got announced. I was like, we just got through Survivor Series. I'm not really here for this brand stuff again. All the matches that are announced are going to be fucking great. And I'm pretty damn excited for it, to be completely honest. DIY versus Mustache
DIY Mustache Mountain. That's a dream match.
Oh my god! I'm just sweating already.
It's crazy that, like, any other day, DIY getting back together would be dominating, like, the wrestling news headlines. But it just feels like it's just part of the show.
In a good way.
Like, there's so much good shit going on that you could take a moment like DIY reuniting and stick it with, your Imperium versus Undisputed Era match, your women's title match, that fatal 4-way for the Cruiserweight title that's going to be off the chain once all the participants are fully announced.
Perfect start to the Royal Rumble weekend down in Houston.
Oh, Dragunov and Finn Balor. Oh, my God.
Man, it's going to be so much fun. Oh, man.
I was watching. Did you watch Takeover Blackpool? I imagine.
I have not had a chance to watch it yet. It's going to be my weekend viewing. I know what happens.
It's really good.
I've seen so many clips of that ladder match, and apparently the Tyler Bate and
Bate Devlin is just like chef's kisses. The women's match was really good.
Yeah, everyone said that.
The ladder match was great, obviously. The main event.
Wait a minute. Hold up. I need to talk to you about Mark Andrews, Mr. Kevin Carroll. Hello? I'm not taking this from you right now. Mark Andrews is just too generic high flyer for me. Okay,
he's
Mr.
too generic. He's just, he just does all the high flying moves that a lot of people do.
Bitch. He comes out, he has fantastic theme music because it sounds like it's straight from 2002, and I just love it. And he does that little hand gimmick, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're going to do it with you. And then he does cool shit in the ring. You watched him. I'm sure I tagged you in that post for a reason. You've seen what he did on NXT.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. I'm not saying he doesn't do cool shit. It's just, I don't like him.
He's so good.
I am a huge fan of Flash Morgan Webster, and I hate that they're saddled together.
Oh my god. This is more
because we lose Flash's entrance music, which begins with literally the greatest thing about NXT UK, where you just hit the music hits and you just hear "In Mod We Trust."
That was quite the British accent then.
Yeah, I was going for it. I went for it.
It was okay. I mean, I'm not really the perfect judge of a British accent, but I thought it was all right.
Thank you.
Oh man, why do I have 11 emails in my... I don't know why. That was very random. Worlds Collide will be a lot of fun. Really good kickstart to
my point about Takeover Blackpool was it was a very small thing, but I was thinking about Ilya Dragunov, and his back muscles are gross. Like they are just absurd.
I'll take note of him next time. Oh god, now I'm gonna really.
Spoiler alert. You probably already knew this. Spoiler alert if you didn't. Dragunov comes out during the main event.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Okay, and he at one point he's not wearing a shirt. He flexes, and I almost my TV almost broke.
No, not a nice back then, I guess.
No, it's a great back. It's too much almost.
Oh, well, that's rough. Well, okay. Well, I'll take note of that when I watch Blackpool. Probably Saturday night I'll watch that, so I'm excited to watch it. Yeah, Worlds Collide will be a nice little like, let's start off Royal Rumble weekend. But it's the one time where I'll just say that I'll enjoy Royal Rumble more, just because it's the Royal Rumble.
It's the Royal Rumble.
There's currently, 17 men announced for the men's Royal Rumble and 3 or 4 women announced for the women's Royal Rumble. I think they have priorities this year. But that's okay, because just like the last 2 years, I think the women's Royal Rumble will probably be more exciting. Just putting it out there.
I think that the men's Rumble could actually be bad.
It could.
Depending on what they do with guys like Lesnar and Velasquez, I might actually hate the men's Royal Rumble.
I've said this many times. I don't have any interest in Cain Velasquez. I just don't care.
Neither do I.
I care about Brock to a certain degree, but I don't care about Cain Velasquez.
I think somewhere in the minds of the WWE brass, they're thinking, well, if you like wrestling, you probably like mixed martial arts. That's just not a poor
assessment, because I feel like while some of us are mixed martial arts fans, I think the majority of us are not, because it's not wrestling.
Yeah.
When I watch mixed martial arts, I'm
interested in watching people actually like beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, like when I watch martial arts, it's not that I don't like sit there and be like, oh, cool, they're killing each other, but like I will be constantly in the pro wrestling mind of like, why are they fighting? What's going on here? Like who's cheating on who? Who's doing something with someone else's man? That's what
Who's the higher power here?
Yeah, when's someone gonna run in and cash in Money in the Bank? Like, what's going on? That's how I am when I watch UFC. I'm not saying it's bad, because there's certainly times where I'm like, I really enjoy it, and I'm like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, let's watch it. But it's just, I'm always in that pro wrestling mindset. I'm like, hello, let's do something else here. It's kind of just boring. But yeah, I don't care about Kane and the thing. He'll probably be number 2, to be completely honest with you. He'll probably throw Brock out. I would like to see Brock clean up some people. I wouldn't hate
seeing Brock win.
Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far. Imagine if Brock won and was just like, you know what, fuck you, I'm not working Mania. I'm having the night off.
It'd be a bold move. Very
like, get fucked. My win is I get the night off. But would you like to see Brock in there for I would either one of two things. I either want to see Brock in there for a long period of time and just destroy a lot of people, or I want to see Brock eliminated really fucking fast.
I think they're going to eliminate Brock really fast.
Well, he's not going to work the whole match. Let's be completely honest.
Brock doesn't work. Brock doesn't work for an hour.
Brock
works for 7 minutes.
Brock is a smart businessman. If I was a pro wrestler making that much money, I would only want to work for 5 minutes too. Fuck yeah. I'd be like, give me the fucking title, give me millions of dollars, and I'll work, I don't know, 10 times a year for 7 to 10 minutes a match. And just give me people that I want to work with, and I'm happy. You can't hate on the business decision.
No, I can't hate the man for getting his bread and
he's a rich man.
Negotiating literally the best deal in WWE history.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't think that's how I see it going. Either really short amount of time, or he's going to be in there for a little while and destroy some people, which is, I mean, both will be entertaining. It's hard not to say that when Brock's on the screen, you're not paying attention, because you want to see what happens. So he's number 1. Any venture to guess who would be number 2? Would it be
It'll probably be someone who could beat the shit out of, honestly.
Would it be Roman?
No, I think it's gonna be like someone stupid. I think it's gonna be not necessarily someone stupid. I think it's gonna be someone that he eliminates quick. Okay. I don't think Velasquez or anyone important will be 2. I think someone important will be 3 or 4.
Yeah, fair. I don't know. I'm excited for it, nonetheless. Rumbles are just...
It's the Rumble. I mean, it's impossible not to be.
It's the Rumble. For the Women's Royal Rumble side, we've only got Bliss, Cross, Charlotte, and Sarah Logan announced so far. There will be many more in this... Well, we got one... We got 2 weeks... 2 episodes of television before... Or 3. We got SmackDown. But that's all we got before the Rumble, but... Hey, let's talk about Sarah Logan for a minute, because I'm a fan of Sarah Logan, and nonetheless, whether she got beat up or not, she had screen time on Raw in the last 2 weeks, and that's a good thing. especially
In
when
a
you're in there with
marquee
Charlotte.
spot.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair. I'm glad they're putting some more time. We've said this many times. It's the biggest problem with WWE's women's division is why the top is really, really good and their main event draws. The rest of the division is so far below them. That's the biggest difference from the NXT women's division and the if you want to call it main roster, the Raw and SmackDown women's divisions is that they have their top talent. Not so much on SmackDown. SmackDown have a more solid division than Raw, but Raw is definitely like Becky, Charlotte, Asuka, Kyrie. And I'm glad they're putting some stock into people like Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan and Lana because they are a part of the Raw roster. I brought it up. We'll go there. We got a mixed tag happening on Raw next week. Liv Morgan will team up with Rusev to take on Lana and Bobby Lashley. Is this the end? Because I have a weird feeling that it's all coming to an end next week. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think they're done with it. I can't believe they're giving away the WrestleMania main event on free TV.
I would fucking watch that in the main event too. You know I fucking would.
I know.
Liv is over. I know you don't watch Raw.
People wanted Liv Morgan. That's not going to change no matter what role they put her in. Even if they want to see her doing something different, they're going to clamor for her.
They've kind of leaned away from the lesbian angle. They've kind of not mentioned it. It's kind of it's more like an obsessive role, I guess. But Liv come out on Raw during the Lashley and Rusev match and to attack Lana. Well, tried to. She got a huge reaction. I'm like, guess what? This is another indication that this story has 100% worked. Everybody that's touched that story has become popular or hated.
Yeah,
it's weird.
They were needed to do. It's the most interesting Lashley's ever been. It's the most interesting
Rusev's been in a hot. It's the most interesting Rusev's been in a hot minute.
Yeah. It's the most interesting Liv Morgan's ever been.
Well, yeah, this is Liv's. Everyone keeps talking about the word potential when it comes to Liv Morgan. Hey, if you can show that you can work in any role, you're doing well. I'm excited for it. I think it'll just be a mess, and that's what I like the most about it. But I do think it's coming to an end because I would assume Lana and Liv would be in the Women's Royal Rumble. I'd guess they would be.
They'll probably have winning the Men's Royal Rumble, so
imagine that. That'd be more. I wish that would happen because that would just stroke my ego even more to say that this story's worked from start to finish.
That'd be cool. I don't think he'll win.
It's
I don't think Rusev.
Roman Reigns is winning that Rumble. I'm not. I say it.
I made an interesting pick on the podcast I was on the other day. Worst podcast host. Great show, by the way. I picked Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I'd be down with that. He did what a magnificent running dive thing off the stage.
Wasn't that cool? Off the skateboard stage?
Yeah, off the skateboard stage. Everyone was like, Tony Hawk. They even made a TikTok about it, guys. I love TikToks, by the way. Like, unironically, I love TikTok. Like, I'll sit on TikTok and I'll watch TikTok.
I have yet to get into the TikTok hype.
Some people hate it. Some people think it's just trash.
I wouldn't hate it. I just don't care. I'm indifferent towards it.
There's a lot of trash on TikTok, but if you just keep scrolling, guys, there's some great shit on there. I've tried to make a TikTok before. It didn't really work.
You're not cut out for it?
I'm not athletic enough to do dancing. I'm just not very coordinated when it comes to dancing, unless I'm just hammered. But it's not like I'm doing choreographed moves when I'm hammered. I'm just moving my arms. Just very white when I dance. Very white boy. But I make it work.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, whatever. I make it work. I own it too. Fuck yeah. Let's do the sprinkler. But TikToks are like, they made a TikTok with the Tony Hawk gimmick, and it was really cool. But Owen is a pick that I don't really hear very often. It's a bit left of field, but it's also not left of field. If that makes any sense.
I want feed me Owens Lesnar, man.
I'd be down with that. Two big boys just in there, just.
It works because Owens is a big guy who moves like a little guy.
Yeah, and Brock it doesn't matter the size. Brock will throw you around. Brock's a beast. He, no pun intended. He just is. He's a beast.
He's the beast incarnate.
I still am going with the typical answer, but I do think Roman will win.
Yeah, he's got to be the favorite, right?
Surely. Roman will probably be fucking number 30 too.
Oh, that's gonna drive people crazy
man.
if that happens.
Oh man, he probably will be. He's wrestling on the same card. He's wrestling King Corbin at Royal Rumble, and then going into the Rumble match.
Is he really?
That's they're having that match beforehand, and then they're. Well, I assume King Corbin would be in the. He hasn't been announced for the Rumble yet, but I would assume he'd be in it. I couldn't imagine Corbin not being in it. Women's side of things, it's like very difficult to pick because I know that rumor of Shayna Baszler, and I could easily see that happening, but I could easily see someone else winning. Like I can't even picture who. You know what I mean? It's hard to count out. I think it'll be
Shayna.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it either. It's the story's there. However, what a spanner in the works it would throw if Asuka beat Becky.
Yeah. Yes, it would. Or what if Becky wins but Asuka enters the Rumble and wins? And we get Becky Asuka again.
I hope that I understand this story. I've loved this story with Becky and Asuka, by the way. I think it's been magnificent. It's been very, very simple. It's just Becky has not beat Asuka. It's a debt collecting, and they're putting over the mist, and their promos have been really, really good. It's just been a good story, and I'm really into it. But for the sake of things, I wish that Asuka was the only person, Becky was the only Asuka was the only person that kept beating Becky. I wish that this story would continue. Imagine if Asuka hypothetically beat Becky at the Royal Rumble, and then the whole WrestleMania road was Becky getting back to Asuka at WrestleMania and beating Asuka at Mania. And that moment of she finally did it because we could get cool Becky back. We could get, not saying she's gone completely, but there's a difference from this Becky to Becky in the spot last year. It's different. It's a different Becky. When you're fighting from underneath to when you're fighting on top is different. I understand they're trying to bring that element back of they're holding me down. They don't want me to fight you, but I want to fight you. I get that and I really dig it. But where's the element of fighting from underneath when Becky's fighting someone like Shayna Baszler? While the story will be cool, and I think Shayna will probably be ultimately the one to beat Becky at Mania, I just think that is where they're going. I don't know. There's just some element to me that I'm just there's a part missing from Becky. She's not fighting with anything anymore. She's there. She's the poster girl. She's front and center. There's just not, to me, in my head, not saying that Becky's burnt out or anything like that. I'm still a big fan. I still think she has a lot of stuff to give. But in this certain role, there's not really higher. She's at the top. Where else can you possibly go other than down at this point? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough to call with Becky because she's done everything there is to do in this business right now.
She really has. She's champ. She's main evented WrestleMania. She's won in the main event of WrestleMania. She's been the champion coming up to or getting closer to a year now. My money is definitely on Becky to beat Asuka, but I'm just saying a huge spanner would be thrown in the works if Asuka was to beat Becky. Now, what we're forgetting,
I don't think it's completely out of the question. I think that's a match we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Very good. It'd be very good. I hope it opens up the show again.
It was good last year.
Yeah. Very good match last year. It was just really, really good. We always seem to forget this, though. We keep saying Shayna's going to win and challenge Becky, but there is the SmackDown Women's Championship that these ladies can challenge for. What about if Banks was to win? What about if someone like that was to win and we get Bayley and Banks at Mania? I know that's kind of being sprinkled. Yeah, but I feel like it's too late.
Never. As 3 Days Grace once said, it's not too late, it's never too late.
Great song. I just hit my
honest
elbow.
to God.
Yeah, it's my favorite match ever, and that's why I don't want it to happen.
No, I get that. You can't. Could you top it?
You cannot top that match. There is no way in hell that everything about that match wasn't just the match. It was the perfect timing. Bayley had never been in that spot. Banks was going away. It was Brooklyn. It had a different feel. At Mania, it's not going to get 20 minutes to shine. That's not going to happen. A SmackDown Women's Championship match getting 20 minutes to go out there and put it, they could do it. Trust me, they could, but I just don't feel like it's a different feel. Everything in that place, it was more than just the fantastic match. The crowd, the energy surrounding it, everything. It was different. And also, I don't want to see Banks and Bayley because I don't want either one of them to turn face because they're both great heels.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Bayley turn on Sasha.
I don't know. I've just really enjoyed both of them in their roles. But
it has to happen eventually.
Well, it has to, because there's not a lot, who's else is going to fight Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. You got Lacey at the moment, which is all well and fine, but this program's not going to go forever. So you've got that. You've got Dana. I don't know if Dana's in that spot just yet. Not Mania spot anyway. But I guess you could have some kind of multi-woman match at Mania if they really wanted to.
Yeah, but I always feel like that's kind of lazy.
It is. It's lazy as all fuck. But who knows? Maybe they've got some kind of a surprise. Then there's the ultimate thing of, hey, you never fucking know. Maybe Ronda Rousey will win the Royal Rumble.
That's true. That is the ultimate wild card. If Ronda shows up, she's winning the Rumble. Like, there's no way.
100%.
There's no way she shows up to lose.
Simple story. The only person that's beat me is Becky Lynch. I want my championship match. That to me is Mania main event.
I agree.
That's nothing less than a WrestleMania main event. I'm talking the last match on the card. I think Ronda and Becky could go. To be completely, we didn't see that match. We did not see one-on-one Ronda and Becky. We didn't see it, and I feel like it's one match that Ronda could come back for. Because to me, Ronda, if she was to come back, I want Ronda in more of a Brock Lesnar capacity, if you get what I mean. I want her sprinkled in at different times to make it feel big. Because Ronda does bring that. She brings that element that a lot of people say is missing from the last year without Ronda there. I don't know if I necessarily agree or disagree with that. I see the point. But I would be happy to see Ronda. I certainly wouldn't be mad. I like Ronda Rousey. And she's legitimate, and she's a star, and she makes it feel like Mania. That would feel like Mania to me. More so than Shayna. But no, I wouldn't be mad if Shayna won. I like Shayna Baszler a lot. She's going to get a lot of hate on the main roster, by the way. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. She's going to get a lot of heat.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a lot. Shayna's very good. She wrestles a different style that people just like, it's boring. I'm like, nope.
Not boring. Her matches are not boring.
I don't agree either. I agree with you. I mean, I don't agree with people that... A lot of people say that she's boring, though. Because people are so used to a rapid pace now. And Shayna is much more methodical, slow pace. She wrestles more like a... Not in the same vein, but in the same pace as like a Randy Orton. Randy Orton matches are methodical and slow, especially when he's a heel.
Yeah, that's how heels are supposed to work.
Also, he did a fantastic Styles Clash on Raw this week.
I saw it. It was really good.
Really good. I was like, damn, Randy. Sometimes I forget how good Randy Orton actually is. Because he's been around for so long that I'm just used to him. I'm just like, yeah, that's just Randy. But he's actually really good at what he does. Yeah. I'm really excited, though. I'm in an excited time because we're just about there. That when we see at Royal Rumble that video package with the WrestleMania, how many days it's away, that's when it feels like, I'm like, yep, we see how many days it is till WrestleMania, and we hear the song, and then we see the promo, and it's like, it's WrestleMania season. I'm always happy when it's WrestleMania season. I know last year, the road to WrestleMania was a little bland. It felt a little bit different last year, but I don't know. Going into a different, I don't know, there's just a different energy. For me, at least, this year. And where's WrestleMania at this year? Tampa Bay. So they better have some kind of pirate shit. They better.
Kyrie's got to do something cool.
Yeah.
She's a pirate princess.
Yeah, and have like Paul Burchill come back or something.
Wow. Okay.
Cole Birchall. Remember when he was there and he was like, they implied that he was in love with his sister? It was weird.
Yeah, Pirate Paul and Katie Lee.
It was weird. It wasn't ever said that they were in a relationship, but it was heavily implied. Like, heavily. It was pretty fucking weird.
WWE does some weird shit.
Yeah, they fucking do. They fucking do some weird shit. Anyway, I guess that'll kind of sum it up. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? I don't think there's anything else.
We talked about soup, so I'm good.
Talked about rice bubbles, so I'm good. That's really about it. Is there anything I needed to plug? Don't think so. Well, next week we'll be doing like a Royal Rumble breakdown show as we normally do before the big pay-per-views or most pay-per-views. We'll do some kind of a prediction thing where we get our final picks in before the Royal Rumble event. And then Royal Rumble. Exciting time. Worlds collide.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know what? Remember last year's Royal Rumble was our first show together.
Oh yes. We'll do it was the 28th, I think.
Oh, I don't remember the date.
I'm pretty sure I remember the date. I think it was like
I know it was directly after the Royal Rumble, which is fucking crazy.
We're nearly 1 year. It's also Australia Day next week.
Nice.
On Royal Rumble Day. 26th is Australia Day. So everyone swing your Australian flags around.
I will.
Especially this year, guys. We're under it. We're under it. Did you know we got hey, this country is getting battered with rain at the moment to the point where now
we did see that some of the bushfires are going out.
Some of them, but it's actually to the point where, well, at least Melbourne is under. We're getting too much because now we're on flood watch.
Oh Jesus!
So yeah, that's happening. Well, at least Melbourne is. So yeah, we just can't catch a break. But most of the South Australian ones are out, and
hey, Melbourne's where the Australian Open is, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of issues with that because a lot of people have been passing out, a lot of tennis players.
Oh shit! I love tennis. I love tennis. I always look forward to the Aussie Opens because it's like one of the ones where the time is weird, and I always enjoy that because obviously it's Australian time.
Yeah.
So we watch it here. We watch the matches live at 2-3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that shit. When it gets down to the semifinals and the finals, I am so locked in at 3-4 in the morning.
Really? Hell yeah.
I love tennis.
I don't know where they are at in the Australian Open. I used to watch tennis, but I don't anymore. But I believe the finals would be next week. If I remember.
I know they're just getting started, so they're doing qualifying right now.
Is that what they're doing? Maybe I'm getting confused. But it's all over our television at the moment. Yeah, but it's in Melbourne, so that's where the Australian Open takes place. So yeah, but a lot of people are passing out. I seen that yesterday. There was a heap of tennis players because the smoke's so thick.
Ooh.
But yeah, so it's not great. We have the worst air quality in the world at the moment.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
What? Yeah, which is not great. But hey, let's get some rain, but not too much. We don't want too much because we don't want to flood. There was massive storms in Melbourne and that to the point where it was just there was emergency warnings for flash flooding and all of this, and I'm like, oh great, here we fucking go, just what we want. But yeah, I'm well away from Melbourne, by the way, guys, if anyone's wondering. But yeah, go watch the Australian Open if you like tennis.
Oh, I will. Go Federer.
I was gonna say, who's your pick for the Australian Open? I know 3 tennis players, I think.
Roger
Federer is the dude, and Rafael Nadal, he's pretty good, isn't he?
Oh, Nadal's great. Djokovic is great. I'm a Roger Federer guy though, so he's my pick.
He's been on top for a long time.
The thing is, there's this dynamic in tennis where he's pretty old for an athlete, and Djokovic and Nadal are younger, and but Federer continues to win.
Yeah, well. And which of this is how disconnected I am from tennis. Are the Williams sisters still playing tennis, like Venus and Serena?
Yes, they are.
Are they still really? Who's the better one? Is it Serena?
Serena's the best tennis player ever, regardless of gender.
Right. So is she in the Australian Open? Yeah.
She will be. Venus will be too.
Oh, fair enough. They've played each other in the finals before, have they not?
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I know about tennis. And I know, like, I don't even know if she plays tennis anymore. Maria Sharapova? She
does.
She's like that.
She got suspended for a while for steroid. I don't know if you call it steroids in tennis, but like PEDs, performance enhancers. But she's back now. She's still playing.
Damn. Well, that's all I really know. Other than that, but fuck yeah, tennis is in Australia at the moment. Anyone listening in Melbourne, go to the tennis. Go down the Rod Laver Arena and go watch the tennis. I think it's at Rod Laver. Not sure.
It is at Rod Laver, that's correct.
Yeah, Rod Laver Arena. I've been to Rod Laver Arena. It's kind of trash. Not gonna lie.
Wow, that's bad.
Unpopular opinion, maybe? I don't know. It's just really old. Well, at least when I went there like years ago for a WWE live event, it was really old, and I was like, okay. And they ran out of bottles of Coke. I was like, how do you run out of bottles of Coke? I want a bottle of Coke. Not like the drugs guys, like Coca-Cola. Anyway.
Josh loves Coke.
Oh, I love Coke. Just, I'm way too poor to have cocaine in my life. Let's be honest. I'm not fucking in Great Gatsby or something. I'm so poor. I like rice bubbles because they're cheap. Well,
that's Josh's cocaine.
Well, you go have a bowl of soup. I guess honestly, I probably will have some rice bubbles in a minute anyway. So this is the longest fucking outro I've ever done. I've never done an outro in the history of doing a show where I've talked about the Australian Open. Ever.
Neither have I, so, you know.
Well, on that note, everyone have a lovely day. Please be kind to one another, and follow us on Twitter, I guess, if you want to. I don't know why you would at this point, but follow us on Twitter.
You might catch me and Josh fighting over something.
Oh, yeah, I'm always like, I always get in there and just like, I see your tweets. You obviously are not directing them at me, but I just...
no, but I know you're going to respond.
I just see them and I'm like, it's because I respond like so much or tag you in tweets and stuff. You come up first on my list if I'm like away.
Yeah, that's the same thing for you. I typically see your tweets first,
and then I'll just comment some ridiculous shit. I'll be like, "This ain't it."
Just to fire me up.
Yeah, because I know that you will respond because you're not gonna just.
I'm very easily fired up.
Yeah, I just write. Sometimes I'm just like, "You are the literal worst." I'm like, "This is the worst thing you've ever wrote." I write that a lot because it's usually about wrestling, or it's about High School Musical, and we do not even agree to disagree.
Yeah, we don't see eye to eye on the HSM.
We are just so angry at each other when it comes to High School Musical because I've never met somebody so wrong in my entire life about.
Well, that's wild because I've never met somebody so wrong in my entire life. That being you.
It's just you're just so bad at thinking, you know.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
But yeah, usually I just write something on Kevin's tweets. So I guess for any reason, follow us for that reason, because you'll tell me to I'll telling Kevin to just fuck off or something. Usually I write fuck Rey Mysterio a lot because I know that really pisses you off.
Yeah, that just doesn't fly.
Oh man, I just love it. Also, before we go, me and Kevin are on the same wavelength with something because we've both been going back and watching old Rumbles.
Oh yeah, it's something that I think a lot of people. I don't think it's anything kind of unique. I think a lot of people go back and watch the old Rumbles. I started the other day. I'm still piecing my way through Wrestle Kingdom, but I've pretty much tossed that aside. I've seen everything I wanted to see, so now it's Rumble season, and I just finished 06. I don't know what's next. We'll see.
I've been watching the ones they upload to their YouTube channel, just because it's there. So I've watched 08, 2012, which is, by the way, fucking awful. Oh my god, the 2012 Rumble fucking sucked. Michael Cole was in it, Booker T.
That was where Cole, Lawler, and Booker T were in it,
they were
right?
they were all commentating, but they were all in the match. Karma was in it. That was kind of lit. Other than that, it was bad. Oh my god. And Sheamus won. I'm like, ugh. And it should have been Jericho that year. And I was like,
tough Rumble.
And then I watched that one. I watched 2013, which is actually quite a good Rumble. I watched 2017, also a fairly good Rumble as well. And I think that's it. And I watched 09. No, I haven't watched 09 yet. But this week I got a few days off from work, and I'm just gonna watch a lot of Rumbles to get me in the zone.
mood.
Yeah, get me in the zone. So for any reason, follow us on that reason for Twitter. Yeah, follow us on Twitter for that reason. I got there. Because we'll be tweeting about Rumbles. Although I hashtag mine, Kevin does not. So sometimes
I just tweet randomly.
And you're just like, and then I'll tell Kevin to hashtag them, but he just ignores me, which is fine. Yeah. Like my page. Like my page on Facebook or something. If you're really old listening to this, go to my Facebook. I don't really post that much on there. Sometimes I do. Facebook's boring. Let's be honest. Facebook is boring. It's old man's game. Man's game. Anyway, on that note, rate us 5 stars on iTunes as well. This is the longest outro in the...
This outro has gone on longer than I've been alive.
It's gone on for like 20 minutes, and I'm not even fucking mad. What a show. This is the thrill ride part of Wrestling Reverb. This is when you can tell we don't know what we're going to talk about. This outro is still fucking going. Okay, everyone. Bye.